Well, as it turns out, I gotta fix this roller for it, or roller stand before I can fix anything else. So, see if we can't get some of this bend out. We got about 75 thousandths roughly. Can't draw that up. See where we're at here now. I've got it down to about 35. So I'm gonna hit 2 more spots here and see what that does. Well, I think my flame straightening has turned out pretty good. I've got it within about 5. And when it rolls, it looks pretty straight all the way across there. So I think it's good enough to sand this back clean, take some emery cloth to it, and put it back in this stand, and I gotta try and get this other side loose. So that'll be a pipe wrench and hammer job. I know y'all like that, so I won't bother to show it to you. But all I can do is heat it and beat it and hope it comes apart. Well, after an epic struggle of man versus rust, a lot of heating and pipe wrench working back and forth on this shaft, I was finally able to get it free out of both the 2 supports, and it's bent worse than the other one was. You can see it's got a lot of wobble out there. See how much you gotta get out of this one. It's barely in frame, but you can catch it there. Just, well, here it clocks. It's 100, 200, 3, 4, 5, 6. It's over 3/4 of an inch. I marked it there where the bend is. And hopefully I'll be able to get this in the end of this table. I've done my initial bend straighten, so let's see what we're at here. I'm at 5, it's 100, 200, about 225. So I'll cut it down by a third. Hard for you to hear because of all the rain pounding out there, but my Well, I'm gonna call this one here straightened out. I got it down to less than 10 over that distance there, which is probably 18 inches at least. It's well over a foot. I'd say over the whole bar length I'm within 10, and that's probably 4 foot of bar, something like that. So I think I've got both of these in good enough shape to put them back in the stand. I'm gonna polish this up and get it stuck back in here, and I'll bring you back. I may go ahead and take a torch and wipe all this paint off here and give this thing a paint job. I don't normally do that kind of thing, but you know, this is supposed to be a very precision instrument. It's balance and stand. I mean, I guess the shaft doesn't have enough mass for it to really pick up that bend in it. It was when it was bent a whole lot more, but it's close enough now. There's enough surface imperfections in here that's keeping it from rolling. You kind of tell that right in there is the low spot. Well, there it is. I guess you could say one rebuilt camshaft, or one rebuilt balancing tool. Inspector has come to give it the wag of approval. Oh, there's my straightened out and cleaned up and freed up shafts. I know everybody complained about the pipe wrench and hammer action to get them apart, but it was the only way to get it apart that I know of. Short of, I guess you could have sawn them off and milled the pieces out that were frozen and then made entirely new ones, but that would have required new material and a lot more work and setup. And I don't think that the pipe wrench and hammer hurt it. I was able to clean it all up, and it's still plenty tight. There's no wiggle in this stand. Got it sitting here on the surface plate. And a while back when I cut those clearance notches in that camshaft for that stroker engine, people had asked about the balance on the camshaft, and I hadn't particularly worried about it. Show you here, this is a factory unaltered camshaft, and it's got a fuel pump lobe on it here, and they didn't bother to balance it for the fuel pump lobe, because as you can see, it's out of balance. If it gets on that oil hole there, that keeps it from rotating. Missed the hole now. So, if it works, so this will definitely be a handy tool to use for shaft straightening and balancing applications, getting this stuff better than what it is. It's a nice size stand, and I'm glad that the parts were still available from A&W. Parts were still available from A&W Precision, and was able to get that missing wheel fixed up and get this balancer back in service. One of the few painted up pieces in the shop, but I had a gallon of Sherwin-Williams oil-based enamel like what Keith Rucker uses, so I decided to go ahead and slap this on this and get it painted up where it wouldn't rust and freeze back up and make it look a little better. This is kind of an inspection grade piece of equipment. It'll go in the inspection area of the shop for doing work and balancing assemblies, and I just brushed it on there. It's good enough. Mainly just for protection. It's not a show car, so I'm not worried about the paint being the most beautiful that it ever was, because it probably will over time get chipped from being used anyway. But where I had the torch all over this to get these shafts out, it'll help keep those areas that all the paint was burned off of from rusting up. So I hope you enjoyed getting to see me bring this piece back to life and a little bit about what it's used for. So thanks for watching, thanks for subscribing, I'll catch you later. Inspectors come to give the wag of approval. It's good. Bailey says it's good. He likes this painted up pretty balancing stand.